Hey, so I don't know who may or may not know this, but for the past year and a half to 2 years, I've been working for a real estate investment company that is owned by my friend. And I was hired on to work in acquisitions. So people, they call in and they say that they want to sell their house to us, and an appointment is set, and then they send either myself or a coworker of mine out to the property. We have conversation with them. We take pictures of the house, and then we make an offer if they're a fit. We've heard a lot of stories, especially this past year, due to the pandemic. A lot of sad stories, but I don't know if any of those stories can beat the one or the appointment that I went to today. And if you've watching this video, then I'm sure you saw the picture that I took of the front of the house, and the caption at the top said that every house or every home has a story. Well, this particular home, it was a four-sided brick home, right? It was a little rough around the edges with landscaping, but what house isn't? Um, the inside of the house looked good. It may need a few, updates, but I mean, it was livable. It was nice. And I went to the living room, sat down. The seller was directly across from me. His sister was beside him, and then his brother-in-law was up right beside his sister. And we had small talk. Hey, how was your day been? How was your weekend? What did you do? Yada yada yada. I took out my clipboard that has some paperwork that I fill out usually at an appointment, and I usually start the conversation, or I usually start an appointment by asking, like, hey, what can we do as a company to serve you? Well, when I asked that today, there was a silence. In fact, the silence lasted for a good 30 seconds to a minute. Very awkward. I turned and looked at his sister, and I mean, she didn't know what was going on, and neither did the brother-in-law. And then I faced the seller again, and he just made eye contact with me, and his eyes started, swelling. You could see the tears in his eyes, and he got very emotional. And he said that he wanted to share something with me. And he said that he hadn't shared that with his sister or with anybody, but that he felt the need to have to tell me what was going on. And so I was like, sure. I put my clipboard down and I was all ears. And he said that he had been dealing with anxiety really bad, and that the house gave him really bad anxiety, and that it had gotten to the point to where he had wanted to take his life, and he had thought about taking his life multiple times. Um, so, I'm still, well, it caught me off guard that he would even tell me that. His sister got really emotional, brother-in-law got really emotional, and I'm just like sitting there taking it all in, taking all this information in that he's telling me. And I really didn't know what to say other than just to sit there and just listen to him. So for the next hour, hour and a half, that's what I did. Just heard him. I think I maybe said like a sentence or two, but in my mind, I was like, what can I say, like, to meet him in the middle and to say something encouraging to him? And I really didn't know what that middle ground was until I started thinking about some books that I had read on anxiety. The author of those books is a pastor that I admire a lot here in Atlanta. He's written several books on anxiety. This pastor has gone through anxiety in the past, like he suffered through it. So I talked to him about that, and he was like, oh man, I know exactly who you're talking about, and I know the books that you're talking about. And so we agreed that I was going to ship him those books, and he would read them. And, I told him, like, this, whatever happens, whether you sell the house to me or not, I still want us to keep in contact. Like, please just communicate with me, call me. If you have any questions about the book, like, hey, we can talk through it. And I know he appreciated that a lot. And, but it really just got me thinking, like, how many of us are like him? We walk around and we say that everything is okay, everything's good. You smile, you laugh, give people hugs, portray um, like everything's okay, but in reality, it's not. You suffer from depression, from anxiety. You have thoughts of taking your life. And I'm just so fortunate to be able to work for a company where I know that I can be of some help, and it's kind of hard for me to wrap my mind around what happened today because I don't know why he felt the need to want to share that with me, you know? And did I get the house under contract? Yes, I got it under contract. The disposition team is going to be responsible for selling it, which I'm sure it's going to sell, right? And it's going to be a number added to the number of contracts I've gotten this year and whatever. But the bigger picture is that I was able to be a part of helping this man out. And to me, that's incredible. I live 2.5, 3 hours away from this guy, and he decided to share that today with me, of all people, and it's just really got me thinking about how people may be going through that right now that are close to me, not even 2.5, 3 hours away from me. So I just want to encourage you to, be a light to somebody, like talk to them when they say they want to talk to you, just listen. A lot of times it's really just being there, just listening to them. I had somebody tell me recently that just being around me was like a medicine to them, you know? So how can you be a medicine to somebody today? So I just want to encourage you to do that. I'm not here to like, get on some upper horse or however you say that, some white horse and pretend like I'm better than anybody. But what I am here to do is hopefully encourage you, and I hope this video encouraged you some way or somehow. And I'm just so thankful that I am able to work for a company where I hear stories like this all the time, and I play a small part in being able to help them out. So be encouraged. Sorry if I said or like a lot in this video. I usually don't make videos like this, but everybody have a good night. Peace.